Hey, welcome back to the It'll Be Fine podcast. I'm back. I'm Erica Bell, your host. It's been as Taylor Swift would say, it's been a long time coming. I have taken a little break because it's literally, we've just been getting back to it, right? Getting back to normal life. If you watch the last kind of touch base update video, or if you listened, you know that we've been sick. So literally January and February has been a blur, filled with, of course, like some fun things, good things, but all the sickness. I still am like holding my breath, like so nervous that it's not over, but we have been healthy for a couple weeks now. So literally, I filmed that last update, or I record the last update. My husband comes in the door, homesick from work with a stomach bug. 2 days later, the next day, something like that. I get it. So happy Valentine's Day to me. I'm like in bed and yeah, with the stomach bug. So that was really super, but he was planned. Like, we don't usually go out on Valentine's Day. I like Valentine's Day, any excuse to celebrate love. That to me is fun. Of course, I think you should celebrate year round, but anyways, so we didn't plan to go out anyways, but he did plan on taking our daughter on a date. So they still did that, but then they had to take our son too, but they still had a good time. So that's fine. And then because of all the sickness, we had like an upcoming family trip. So my daughter has been wanting to see snow for a while now, and she's actually been in snow multiple times, but she was so young she doesn't remember it. Hopefully she'll remember this trip. She's like 5.5, so I think she will. But so because of all the sickness, my husband couldn't just didn't feel like he could take any more time off work. We had already postponed the trip once due to him having COVID. So there was no way I was going to reach back out to this sweet, sweet couple and say, hey, can we postpone our trip? And, we were staying in their cottage that was like built in the 1800s. They were just great. We used like Verbo, and yeah, I just didn't want to. So I was like, okay, what do I do here? I'm not going to take both kids. That's just pure craziness. So I was thinking maybe my daughter and I would just have a trip, just the two of us. Or I asked my brother if, him and my niece wanted to go. They had plans. I was debating, if it should just be me and her. And then we were kind of thinking, you know what? It would be really fun to invite her grandma, her Mimi, as she goes by, which is my mom, and we just had the best time. It was so fun, so fun. So my daughter skied for the first time, and dude, she's just a rock star. She's like, it was harder than I expected, but I'm not giving up until I can do it. And by the end of the second day, she was doing it on her own, able to like get up on her own after she fell down. It was so fun to see. It was so fun to watch. And so we went to North Carolina. Let me back it up a little bit. We went to Lake Toxaway in North Carolina. And then we skied in Sapphire Valley. So they make their own snow when they don't have natural snow. And it was the perfect place for her to learn, I think. So we originally had planned for this ski trip to be in Breckenridge in Colorado, and things just didn't work out. We were supposed to be there in December, and it just didn't work out. And it was supposed to be our whole family, so our son would have gone. And now I just feel like it was such a blessing that didn't work out, because I think he would have had fun in the snow, but he couldn't last out there like she could, I don't think. 2.5. And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he would have wanted to be out there all the time, but they're in so many layers. It's kind of hard to move. They're having to wear gloves, which is like super awkward, like a super strange sensory thing for a child. So anyways, and even though Breckenridge it's not huge, like some of the other popular places to ski, it's still, it is bigger. You've got multiple, mountains to go down. What am I trying to say? Slopes. Um, Anyways, this place we went to, Ski Sapphire Valley, look it up if you're looking for like a little intro into skiing or snowboarding. They have like one little hill for beginners and then just a kind of a bigger, I guess we'll call it a hill for everyone else. Okay. They do have a lift. And then for the small hill, they have like one of those magic carpets. They have one of those escalator, elevator type of things, escalators where you just stand on it and moves you up the hill. So she got a lesson. It was so great. It was such a wonderful learning experience. Like it was just a beautiful place for her to be. It was so laid back and so casual. And that's what I loved about it as well. Like the second day, there were multiple times that she was the only person on that hill. And it was not very busy because I did find she's a social butterfly. So when she was kind of not focused on her skis and like trying to look up and see what everyone is doing, that would be the time that of course she like crashes down. So less distractions for her, the better. It was just wonderful. Like I said, it was so wonderful. It was so funny. The second we walked up, before we even got it literally is just like basically almost mud and then a little bit of snow. It's just like a pathway. When we got there, she immediately like threw herself on her back and made snow angels. I'm like, honey, this is like a walkway. We can't do it right here. But it was so pure and innocent and just so sweet. And I was just praying we were going to see, real snow, even, snow falling from the sky. Sure enough, our first day we're driving to go to the ski resort and my mom and I are kind of looking at each other. I'm like, okay, I guess it's raining. There was not really a chance of rain. There was never a chance of snow. The temperatures really weren't that extreme. It was really, really pleasant. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh no, that is snow. And come to find out, they haven't had any snowfall in the last like couple months. And they haven't had like big fluffy snowflakes like we saw in like the last couple of years. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you, Lord. It was just such a God thing. It was so special. It literally like, it like brings tears to my eyes. It was just so, it was just like a wonderful trip. It was so wonderful. And I will have those memories forever. And I hope that, she does too. And even if she doesn't, I will have them. And it was so special. And it was everything I think she wanted it to be. Because really, we kind of kept telling her, like, this trip is for you. Like we've seen snow a lot. And I love being in the snow. I love it, love it, love it. So of course, it was supposed to be a whole family thing and we would all have had fun, but she was really the catalyst for it. She was who really, really wanted to go and was kind of pressing it so much that we were like, yeah, let's plan something, So it was just a beautiful time. It was an easy drive. We drove up there. Easy drive. I did end up having some car trouble. So my brakes had been doing this like shaky thing. But my stepdad was in the car. He's like, he wasn't too worried about it. So I really wasn't worried about it. But I have been so busy and just not even thinking about it. Didn't go in to get my car checked out before I went on a road trip. I will never not do that. Okay. You're going on a long road trip. What the hell are you doing not getting your car checked out? If you have any kind of like qualms, with it, like get it checked out. So anyway, so we're driving up there. My mom's like freaking out pretty much the whole time. Like, I don't know if this is safe. And then my husband didn't know that I was having those problems. So he's freaked out. Anyways, it was fine. We got to and from just fine. But then my coolant light was going off, like fluid levels. Actually, no, that started before too. It was like check coolant fluid levels. Coolant fluid levels low, something like that. But my husband had checked it out before I left and like he was like, it's fine. So we get up there. Before we're heading back, we're like, okay, let's just stop somewhere so they can kind of check on these things. We had a hard time finding a place that was either open or available or whatever. Can't really just pop into these places, And they checked the coolant. They were like, yeah, the fluid is fine. Like the levels are fine. I don't know what's really going on. But I don't know, somehow he pumped it or did something. So then the light stopped turning on. Anyways, and the light is fine now, but apparently like my car runs hot. Anyways, this whole time I was just like, please don't let me have to spend thousands of dollars. Obviously, please let me be safe, but I am in the process of like trying to find a new car. I'm getting a truck for work, and I never ever in my life thought I would say those words. I am not really a truck person. I just never in my life pictured myself driving a truck. I just think of those like bumper stickers that like silly boys, trucks are for girls. Anywho, but for work, as an organizer, like I'm constantly hauling trash and donations and things out of people's homes, and I either don't have enough space or it's like beating up my car, right? And so I'm like, I just need a truck that I can throw stuff in. So I think I found one. I'm really excited. Stay tuned. It's supposed to come in this week. I'm using CarMax. That's what I used for my current car. And dude, we just had the best experience with them. There's like no haggling. You don't feel that icky feeling like when you usually walk onto a car lot. Just easy. Like, you know what you're getting. They're not going to try to, just do anything sketchy. So anyways, you can also, like, if you find a car within their like website, within their inventory anywhere in the country, you can have it shipped. So I found one that for what I'm looking for, and it's on its way here. So then I'll get to see it this week, and hopefully it's the right one, and will just be a perfect little fit. Anyways, so back to the story. So they check the coolant, whatever. And then as far as the brakes, they're like, yeah, it's probably your rotor, your pad. I don't even know. I don't know anything about cars. And that's the hard thing too, that I feel like as a woman who does not know anything about it, as a woman, one, and then as a woman who does not know anything about cars too, I hate walking into car service places because I feel like I'm going to get got. And I hate that feeling. Yeah. So anyways, they were not too concerned. They're like, you should be fine to drive home. You can take it to like your local place. So again, this is like another just divine thing. Thank you, Lord. I had this coupon for a place. It was about to expire. They were able to get me in like the next day after we got home. It's like literally 5 minutes from my house. Stand up work, stand up guy. It made me feel comfortable. They got it all checked out. And it's weird that my like brake pads or whatever it was needed replacing because I don't have that many miles on my car. But they're like, yeah, it is strange how it was just kind of rubbing and just. Anyways, so after rambling about that, all is good. I'm ready to trade it in. Of course, that was something I had to get done. Did I pay more than I would have liked? Yes, but I wanted to only spend like a couple $100. It wasn't much more than that. But of course, I'm like, I just want to trade it in. But having all that new stuff hopefully will just make the value go up for my car. So that's the story of that. That was just, I haven't thought about it like this until now, but it was such a nice cherry on top after being sick. Like going on that trip was a nice cherry on top. And I guess I haven't thought about it like that because, again, I'm kind of holding my breath, worried that there's still some other sickness like lingering around the corner. Apparently, like measles is there's like an uprise increase in South Florida. I'm like, what? Like, what is happening? But just gonna keep praying that we stay healthy. And yeah, and then I picked my son up, and they're like, yeah, we've got some cases of strep going around. I'm like, if I get strep throat again, I'll lose it. Like, what would that would just be crazy, right? Right. So yeah. So that's the latest. I'm trying to think what else is going on. We're just kind of, again, trying to switch because this was one of our goals for this year, is to like get out of survival mode and into like thrive mode. So had some setbacks with the, sickness, because when you're sick, you are just like you're trying to do what you can, right? And so we're out of that, even though, like I said, I'm hesitant to say that, but we feel like we're good, healthy, and now we're just kind of getting back into the groove of things and just thriving mode. Work has been great. influx of new clients, just super steady, super full, which is another blessing in itself. I just love my job so much. I've got a fun trip coming up in a couple weeks. I love when you open, like when you're flying somewhere, because I don't use like countdown apps, which maybe I should because they're fun. But whenever you open the airline app of whoever you're flying with and it says like blank days until your trip, it's like, that just gets me so excited. So I opened it up today and it was like 15 days to your trip. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's going to be here so soon. And it's just this, I don't know. I feel like it's an old person thing to say, but like this year's just flying by and time is just going by too quick, but it's so true. And again, especially when we were in this like time warp with being sick, it just like, I don't know. You're like, what day is it? What time is it? But I'm like scheduling clients out into April now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how is that already here? Next week in our neck of the woods for our kiddos, it's spring break. I've got my daughter in a fun summer camp, so that'll be great. But I'm also excited to maybe kind of take some half days and do some fun stuff with her just because, right? The only bummer about that is, being self-employed. If I don't work, I don't make money, but it's, those things are worth it. And she needs a little break. She works so stinking hard and it'll just be fun to do some fun stuff for her. We told her for her report cards, like she's in kindergarten, but they get, real report card. And so we have offered her some like, rewards for her good grades. So one thing we have been needing to do is to take her roller skating. That's what she wants to do. And she actually just got her own rollerblades. So watch out, rink. Here she comes. And I actually love rollerblading too. I used to love it as a kid. And of course, like as you get older, how often do you do that? I feel like unless you live like in California and you're like rollerblading on the sidewalks, like I just don't see people doing that, which let's bring back blading. I don't know. So yeah, other than that, I think I've just been like on a high, feeling healthier, but again, trying not to hold my breath and like want something bad to happen. But I'm excited about my car. I'm excited about my upcoming trip. Oh, I didn't even tell you where it's to. So at the end of March, we will be going to, me, my sister-in-law, and my mom are going back to Arizona. Who would have thought I was going to go to Arizona twice in 1 year? But we are going to like Sedona, the Sedona area. We're staying at a resort straight up like in the mountains. And there's just something cool about being in the desert out there. It's just so magical. I don't know what the best word is for it, but like we're staying at a place called Enchantment Resort. So maybe it's enchanting. Maybe that's the word I should use. But it's awesome. We have this pink Jeep tour plan. Google that if you don't know what that is. I've seen them before and I'm so excited to take one. You like go off-roading up these mountains, like super fun. We're going to do hiking. We're going to, just do different fitness classes. It's just going to be fun. We went together last year to a place in Carefree, Arizona. We stayed at a resort called Savannah. And we just had a transformative time. It was incredible as well. So there's definitely, I never would have thought this, but the desert is holding a special place in my heart. So I love it. I'm excited to do that, get away for a little bit. And yeah. And then I want to, ever since getting back from our skiing trip, now I'm excited I'm like anxious wanting to book something else because I don't do a lot of road trips. And how fun and easy it was makes me want to do it more often now. And especially as my son gets older right now, I don't think he would last very well, 7 hours in the car, but he's getting older and kind of getting to the point where he can hang a little bit better in that situation. But it's fun and it's easier. You can kind of pick up and go a little bit. It doesn't seem so much planning sometimes as like booking a flight, you're kind of just more in control, like with your car, when you want to take off, when you want to leave. Now, don't get me wrong. Usually I would pretty much fly anywhere versus wanting to drive, but again, the ease of that and how much fun we had is just, it makes me want to do something again. So that to me is the best part about coming back from a trip, is like booking another one. So I want to have something, I like to kind of go somewhere maybe every month. Again, it doesn't have to be some big trip, like, but I just, traveling is where my heart is. So it's fun to be able to experience that with my kids as well. And then before we know it, Easter will be here. It's just, again, time is flying by. It's so, but fun, lots of fun stuff. Again, we're on the other side of the sickness. So now we can just have fun. St. Patrick's Day, Easter, and then my husband's 40th birthday. I'm planning a bunch of stuff for him. I won't say too much in case he listens, but I've got some stuff in the works. I'm so excited for that. I really want to make it special for him, fun for him. He likes birthdays. I mean, he's not like obsessed with birthdays like I am, but I think he's looking forward to this one. And his birthday always falls around the time of the Masters golf tournament. So if you are someone who loves golf, or you know someone who loves golf, you know that that's like a big deal and that's a fun thing. So he loves watching that. I tried to get him tickets to it, but it's just outrageous. So he will, but it's kind of okay because he prefers to watch it at home versus like fight the crowd. He hates crowds. So yeah, we usually do some kind of golf theme party, which will be fun. Yeah, so just, I'm not fully ready for cold weather to be over, although here in Florida it does kind of seem like it is. It's kind of passing by, but there's almost always another like week that we have like a cold snap. It's usually in April by my husband's birthday, but because right now it's 64 degrees. We're not like turning on the heaters at night anymore. It's just, I'm like, no, I'm not ready for that. But there is part of me that is super pumped for a new season, for spring. I'm not ready for the time change, but I am kind of feeling that excitement for a new season, and maybe it's just kind of to shed the last couple of months and have something like fresh and new. That's probably what it is. So what are you excited for? Tell me. I am so happy to be back. I'm going to try my best to be more consistent because we're getting in a better groove now, even though we're super busy still. But I love chatting. I love being here with you guys. So tell me what you're excited for, and thank you for being here. I'll talk to you soon.